We're back. I'm Mario Cantone, filling in for Artie Lange here on the Artie Lange Show, and we're here with Maggie Gray from SI Now. We were talking about Mike Tyson. So the second Mike Tyson story.
Yes, we had Mike Tyson on our show, and I got to do 45 minutes with him. And one of the segments that we did was just clearing up the rumors and the urban myths with Mike Tyson. Did he give the cop the Bentley when he got pulled over on the side of the road in New Jersey? Yes, that was true. He gave the cop, it was like a green Bentley. I'm remembering more details. It was a green Bentley. Eventually, the car got returned to him, etc. The second one we cleared
up. It did
get
returned to him.
Eventually, because the cop now can't be walking around driving a Bentley.
Right.
But then
he probably should have thought that through before he took the Bentley.
I guess when you pull over Mike Tyson, you're like,
he threatened to put him in jail for what?
I don't know if he was threatening to put him in jail, but maybe his license was suspended. Who knows? But there was something there, and Tyson thought, I can get out of this if I just offer him the car I'm driving. Yeah, and it worked.
And then he got it back.
And then I think he got it back. Yeah, okay. I think that was the end of that story. The second story that we cleared up with him was one night in a D.C. hotel room in Georgetown, in Washington. He started throwing $100 bills out the window, and just a crowd formed to just get this money that he was single loose $100 bills. He said, yes, absolutely true. He used to do this because he always thought that, he grew up obviously so poor in Brooklyn here in Brownsville, and always thought that that was the way to give back to the people. This, like in his mind, this was the way to give back. I don't know, Georgetown, it's kind of swanky. I don't know if that's the right people getting hundreds, but to just throw money out the window made more sense to him than, say, write a check for the Boys and Girls Club or something.
Because he sees which hands it's going into.
Maybe.
It's going directly to.
And he's so paranoid, doesn't, trust anybody. I mean, after what happened with him and Don King.
I'm sure he doesn't. Yeah. He's got a lot of. So, now, your father was a writer.
My father, no.
Who wrote the book about Jack Johnson?
My uncle.
Your uncle was a writer.
Yeah.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from the Boondocks, upstate New York.
And were you always interested in sports?
Yeah.
It was just something you always loved?
Yeah, I used to watch Buffalo Bills games on Sundays with my uncle. And my first ever internship, I was in high school. I really liked sports. I was a tennis player. And I kept stats and wrote the press releases for our minor league hockey team. And then I used to sit next to the broadcaster who was doing the play-by-play. This guy was right out of college, and I didn't know anything really, a nice guy. And the last game, he let me come on the air and do like some banter with him about the team and kind of like do the out-of-town scoreboard or something. And after that, I was like, oh, this is great. I went right to college, got my own radio show, and started covering the Wizards in D.C. while I was still in college, traveling with the men's and women's basketball team, doing their play-by-play. And I've been lucky enough to keep getting jobs since then.
So did you always have? Was a sports host? You always had a show on the radio, or did you report and go in the locker room and be like, hey,
a lot of everything.
Put your pants on. I got to ask you a question.
No, John knows how totally awkward it is for people to be in the locker room interviewing,
especially when women. And there are many sportscasters that are female.
It's kind of fun. I mean, it's kind of funny. Because it is so awkward.
It is awkward.
You just
it's
have
awkward
to laugh.
for the men, too.
It must be.
Because a locker room, regardless of, I don't know what people think this environment is like. It is so disgusting in there.
Why don't they wait for them to come out? Why do they have to go into the locker room? Can't they wait for them to come out?
Well, when they come out, then they leave and go. And unless you have
they're going to flee. They're going to run. They're going to try to get out of there.
They'd rather not speak, especially if they just messed up, if they just lost.
That's true. So you're trapping them, basically.
Kind of.
You're trapping them in the locker room.
It's a part of the job. Like it's part of your job description as a professional athlete is you are to cooperate with the media. But because it's part of your job, jobs you just don't want to do them. When it's in your job description, you're just like, oh man, why do I have to do this? And it just seems like a hassle, especially after you can't. A lot of times you just can't verbalize what just happened to you or what you did to people or what it felt like, and you don't feel like verbalizing it. It's very personal. And
a lot. I mean,
I don't know. You don't want to share it.
One of our SI writers put it really well one time when he said, "Just because you're a bird doesn't make you an ornithologist, right? So, just because you're able to go out on the football field and do something spectacular that we can't do doesn't mean you can necessarily explain what you're doing or why."
That's what I was going to say.
That's why the best players are rarely the best coaches.
I mean,
a great athlete isn't necessarily a great public speaker or someone that wants to express themselves. They don't expressive. They're not.
Well, it's like dancers, right? They express themselves through their body, and that's.
And you want to know what? A lot of dancers are very introverted.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very true. It's that's very interesting.
It's
but it is part of the job description, I guess, that you have to cooperate with the media.
Well, that's the thing. You don't feel like cooperating, especially after you lose. And so you're looking for a way out, and so they have to kind of sabotage you. They get you while your pants are off.
Yeah,
they get you right after the shower, right before the shower, because that's the only time that they can corral you.
Now your relationship with Sports Illustrated, besides the show, I mean, have you always been? Did you always
That's
work
a
for the
big
magazine?
deal. I mean, Sports Illustrated is about the most. No, it's the most reputable sports.
Yes.
Absolutely, it's the one with the legs. It's got legs. It's been around for years and years and years.
Yeah, the brand is unbelievable.
Go away.
It's huge.
The brand is the best.
When was it first published?
In the 50s. I don't know the exact first date. We have the first issue in our office.
When did you start working for Sports Illustrated?
About 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, when they started to get into the digital side, which, they had really, it was obviously known forever as a magazine and for all the great things they've done. But SI.com is really an amazing property as well. I mean, what people for so long thought it was just the magazine online. It's like, could be even, that's further from the truth. It's a fully, news website with columns from all the SI writers who you read in the magazine doing more online. Plus we add in, like you see behind you, I'm totally going to take credit for that 50 years of beautiful swimsuit book that I brought for Artie the first time I was here. That's now gotten great placement. Thank you. And we have all that. I mean, everything's on the website. So now they started to do actual TV shows, talk shows. And I host a talk show every day, a sports talk show on SI.com. And I host a football show once a week with Monty Toomer.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Monty's a great guy.
I know, he's great. He's a former Giants wide receiver who's just awesome. And so they've started to get into this digital. This is the space we feel like we can compete, because we can't compete with ESPN, with highlights and things like that. But we can have the smartest sports conversation, we think. We can have something intelligent that real, true sports fans want to hear about.
But Amani's a smart guy. I went to Michigan with Amani.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you knew.
Yeah. Well, Ty Law came on the show. They were both there together. It was hilarious because they were talking about the first time they played Notre Dame. And Ty Law goes, "Can you believe we lost that game?" Amani goes, "No, we didn't. We tied." I'm like, "Yes, we did tie."
Really? See, I don't remember that.
But a lot of.
Then we beat them in Notre Dame.
Yeah, they talked about that.
That was a big deal.
Athletes like yourself, look at, here you are doing this.
Yeah.
I mean,
remarkable.
And whether you become an actor or a broadcaster or a sportscaster, that happens a lot. Not a lot, but it happens enough. Does it not? I mean,
it happens.
Broadcasters.
I think when you do sports and it's over, you didn't want it to end. You didn't plan on not being able to do what you were so good at for so long. And I think a lot of people, like I know, I had no idea what was going to happen. We got to take a break.
We do. Did you know that you were going to do this?
No.
I mean, look at, Howie Long and who else? Bradshaw, what's his first name?
Terry
Bradshaw. I was going to call him Jim. I'm so ridiculous. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
He looks like a Jim.
Yeah, I like him, though. He's crazy.
Jimmy.
I like Howie Long's a handsome man, too. I like him. I think he's a class act. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you for being here, Maggie.
Thank you so much for having me.
You were fascinating and beautiful and interesting.
Such a pleasure to meet you.
Well, I wish we had more time, but unfortunately, I have my period. All right, we'll be right back right after this.
The Artie Lange Show, weeknights on Audience, only on DirecTV.